Welcome, everybody, to the Puna Geothermal Venture quarterly meeting. Thanks for your patience as we took care of some logistics. Here's the agenda for this meeting. We're going to have an introduction by Michael Kalakini, and then we have a PGV update from Zach Adaki, Hawaiian Electric update from Kevin Walchin, County of Hawaii update from Doug Lay. Then we'll have a Q&A session at the end of the meeting. The virtual meeting guidelines will be as follows. We're going to present the information first, and a Q&A will be at the end. To eliminate background noise, all the participants have been muted other than the panelists. We are going to be recording this session so that others can view the meeting afterwards. And the recording will be posted on the Puna Geothermal Project website, www.punageothermalproject.com. During the presentation, you can type questions in the Q&A function. Questions will be addressed during the Q&A portion of the meeting at the end. The Q&A icon is at the bottom of the screen. As a reminder, you can always submit questions in advance at the website, www.punageothermalproject.com. And at any time, if you have any questions or concerns, you can call the PGV toll-free response line 24/7. That number is 808-369-9094. And at this point, I will turn over the meeting to Mike Kalakini for his opening remarks.
Thank you, Dana. Aloha, everyone. Thank you all for taking the time to join us in our quarterly virtual meeting. Just wanted to preface that as we move forward, if the COVID situation remains as is or improves, we are definitely considering to have our next meeting in person. So just give a heads up. So thanks again for being here. Kevin from Hawaiian Electric, Douglas from the county, thank you guys. So Zach's here, Jordan's not available today, and Zach Adachi will be providing updates for operations. Go ahead, Zach.
Hello, everyone. So currently, since our last meeting, we had a successful plant outage in late February, going into early March. Since then, we're back online. Right now, we have 6 OECs online with 1 in standby and 2 under maintenance. Recently, we're at an average about 25 megawatts net, still with 3 production wells, 5 injection wells, and we're just getting ready for our next drilling campaign for KS-19. But other than that, that's all I got.
Thank you, Zach. Kevin, please.
Sorry, Mike, had to unmute. Okay, so like Zach said, what we're seeing on our side is the 25 megawatts. We're excited with PGV's update on the drilling of the next production well. With that can get them to 38 megawatts as soon as possible, and we're looking forward to that. Because with the 38 megawatts, it gets it closer to the lower cost energy that helps reduce costs to our customers. Within the last month, we actually had public meetings with the county, and we've been talking about what's happening with our rates based off of the fuel cost and how it impacts. So, we continue to look at trying to get lower cost energy, get to that point. So very excited with PGV's movement towards getting towards that 38 and lower cost energy. The other thing that they didn't talk about is the PUC did approve the amended PPA, and the amended PPA delinks the cost of energy from fossil fuels. So that's something else that we're excited about. But it came with some stipulations that PGV has to complete before construction can start. So as they work through that, we're kind of excited about that too, right? Again, like I said, trying to get to the lower cost energy, get to more capacity, that kind of stuff. The way that it works right now, we're about 60% renewable energy, and PGV is a big contributor of that. So as they increase up to the 38, and eventually, according to the amended PPA, to the 46, that'll help us to get Hawaii Island even closer or to the 100% that we're shooting for, right? We are also partnering with Hawaii Energy right now and trying to help get them out there with the rest and get the customers to see and utilize the Hawaii Energy resources. So if you as the customers see that you guys want to help reduce your energy, and that's what we're promoting, is reduce your energy so that you reduce your costs, please contact the Hawaii Energy and utilize the efficiency tips that they give, the rebates that comes with them, and the different programs that they have. And that would be my update for Hawaiian Electric.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Yeah, thanks for letting everyone know about the decision and order that the PUC rendered in March. We're looking forward to that too. So, Douglas, please, Douglas, go ahead.
Yep. Thank you, Mike. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having us. For our update, I want to cover at a high level some of the progress we've made and some updates we want to be able to share with the community. There's a lot more detail that I'm not going to cover for the purpose of our meeting on our website, recovery.hawaiicounty.gov, as it relates to movement with our voluntary housing buyout program, some updates to the timelines for the restoration of road and water projects, as well as investments at Isaac Kepaokalani Hale Beach Park, and efforts we're doing with community too through Revitalize Puna. A couple of weeks ago, we were able to update and had a community meeting about time frame for when Poho'iki Road and Highway 137, the Red Road, will be restored, not just in terms of road access, but also a water line down Poho'iki Road to the Poho'iki area and then up to Kapoho along Highway 137. We are in the middle of an environmental assessment that the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, is leading with the county as a partner. And that is projected to be completed in January. There will be a lot of consultation and community outreach related to that from FEMA. But that January really is this clearing that environmental assessment for the road and water lines, to do the final design and construction bidding for it, with construction on Poho'iki Road from the Y and working our way down to start in the fourth quarter of 2023. And so I think that's what folks can really look towards. At the same time, being able to do road restoration from Four Corners down, as well as at Lighthouse Road, and the permanent work down by Mackenzie, where those temporary clearance happened right after the eruption occurred. So I think that's really a big piece of it. We've also completed several months of community engagement about the Poho'iki area, the investments that FEMA and the county are making at the park proper, but also coordinating with folks at DLNR on the restoration of boat access at the ramp, and what's needed down there, especially with some of the property owners and lineage descendants of the area. We were able to provide a lot of these updates at our Revitalize Puna event just this past Monday. It was our first in-person event for a while, and we were very excited to be able to be out with people again. We are preparing a video of the event and some of the collateral material we shared. And so please look out for that information, probably by early next week, to get all that information posted up. It's a lot of the same information I'm sharing, but just with more detail. And the final thing I'll also share is on our voluntary housing buyout program associated with the eruption. We have completed phases 1 and 2, and those captured primary homes and second homes that are eligible for the buyout program. We have 267 applications for primary homes that are getting to offers accepted, starting to get them scheduled for escrow. And we have just over 170 applications for second homes that we've started intake on. So kind of really helping people through the application process, understanding their eligibility. Are they really a second home or are they a primary home, as we get to know their situation? So we're excited to kind of start that off. But we are also going through what's called a substantial amendment to our program, where we are clarifying some of the policies to really address issues that we saw within households, within immediate families being eligible. We are proposing to eliminate our housing relocation services, which was some rental assistance, because we found that there have been barriers to be able to provide that service to folks. And we are connecting people to other types of services available in the county around securing affordable rental housing. But the biggest shift that we're looking at is to really propose a new maximum grant award for undeveloped properties that would be eligible within the upcoming phase 3. So it's still based on pre-disaster value, but looking at the median value for these properties before the eruption, the new proposed value would be $22,000. And so we are also hosting a public meeting about this on this upcoming Monday, April the 18th. You can find more information on our website at 3 p.m. Encourage people to participate and register. So a lot happening. A lot of it is in our website, but I just wanted to point people to the information and let you all know where you can participate and how you can have your voices heard. For the changes for the voluntary housing buyout program, we are in the middle of a 30-day public comment period. And so we really are looking for folks' thoughts and opinions about how the program's been going, some of the proposed changes. And there's different ways to comment, whether it be at our office in Hilo or in Pahoa when we're out there with staff, as well as online. So please visit our website, and happy to take questions in the time that we have together. Thank you.
Thank you, Douglas. So we can go right into our Q&A portion of our meeting, and there's actually a question on the chat box, and it has to do with the buyout program. And maybe Douglas, you can help, at least for me to understand. You talked about the vacant lot and with a value of up to 22,000. Is that like per acre, or is it for the entire area that you have that's vacant? Can you just elaborate on that before I answer that question from this person?
Sure, happy to. So for our bio program, it is a $107 million grant from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. With the numbers that I described in terms of those who had primary homes or second homes and are in our pipeline for acquisition, those funds commit about $90 million in total. And that is looking at pre-disaster value of those properties, while also incorporating a maximum grant award of $230,000 for properties that had a structure, a home that was a primary home or second home. And so when we look at administrative costs and what it takes to run the program, we're looking at about $10 million left, plus or minus, to be able to move the program into phase 3. And with that in mind, but also our objective to serve low to moderate income households that were impacted by the eruption and to serve as many folks as possible, we took an evaluation of what it looks like for median value of vacant land. And this $22,000 figure is really based on that.
Okay.
And, folks might ask, well, the vacant land was of a wide range of values, right? From Leilani Estates to Leilani Puna Gardens, out to Kapoho and down to, Malama side. And really what that $22,000 value represents is, the several hundred lots in Leilani Estates and Leilani Puna Gardens that represent kind of the middle of the list, right? If you stacked every single TMK top to bottom, that's where it's derived from. And so that is the current proposal. And that really helps us to solve for some of what we want to solve for, helping as many people as possible who want to participate in this program, addressing families that are low to moderate income, which is a requirement of the federal agency, and also the budgeted funds we have left that we are projecting.
Thank you, Douglas. So yeah, the question that we have in the chat box talks about the disaster recovery buyout program and about the $22,000 per lot for vacant lots. And the question is, for PGV, would PGV consider donating funds to increase properties that are located within a quarter-mile radius from PGV up to their 2017 property tax value above the 22,000. So from what I understand, what I think I'm understanding is that would PGV consider assisting with more payment above 22,000 if their property values were higher. We definitely could consider that. It might be a little bit tricky if there's, you know, there's FEMA involved, right? There's the county involved. I don't know how that would work out, but I'd be willing to talk on the side, Doug, to see if that is something that could be considered, yeah, from us without causing any disruptions to the program itself. I know there's usually strict requirements, so, but yes, the answer is yes. I'll talk with Douglas after our meetings and see if we can consider and participate in any way. Okay, so this week or this meeting, I don't see Corey Harding participating, but she did send me a question and I'll share it with everyone. So Corey's question was that will PGV pursue producing hydrogen if it is shown that hydrogen significantly increases global warming? And she shared an article of a study that was performed in Canada, or the United Kingdom, excuse me, where the UK, amongst other countries in the world, are considering more hydrogen. Anyways, if there's anything, right now, PGV's main focus is to generate, deliver, sell electricity, geothermal electricity to Hawaiian Electric through the grid. We don't have any plans to generate any hydrogen at this point. Now, sometime in the future, that may be a consideration. And at that time, we would definitely consider if there was more harm to our environment for doing something like that, we would not do it. So that's the only question I got ahead of the meeting. And are there any more questions from our participants?
Yeah, the Q&A function is at the bottom of the screen. You can type in questions now if you have them.
Q&A, there we go. While we're waiting, I do want to elaborate a little bit on the decision that the PUC rendered approving our amended and restated part purchase agreement. There were conditions along with the decision. One of them is that PGV is required to perform an environmental review. And so we are committed to doing that and we have embarked on that. So just wanted to share that part for all of our viewers and participants. Okay, we have one here. Oh, it's a clarification on the study. This is from Maurice. Thank you, Maurice. And Maurice's comment is that the study, the hydrogen study, shows that hydrogen does not raise global temperatures. However, it does take some molecules out of the air that normally bond to methane, and that in turn allows more methane to stay in the atmosphere longer. So yes, I remember reading about it. Hydrogen is not a greenhouse gas per se, but indirectly, it's considered an indirect greenhouse gas. Just for the reason that Maurice shared, yeah, about interacting with methane, and methane is a greenhouse gas. So the key is to eliminate any hydrogen emissions to atmosphere. So whomever is doing hydrogen projects, that will be of the importance to make sure that emissions are eliminated. Just, I don't know much about hydrogen, but that's that's what we hear from our folks that are smart on hydrogen. Thanks, Maurice.
Okay, we'll give it a few more minutes to see if anyone else has any questions.
Okay. So I got a question for Douglas. How many folks turned out to that in-person meeting?
Thanks for the question, Mike. I'm still getting the final counts in, but we actually had about between 150 and 120. I'm sorry, 150 and 200 people on Monday night.
Very
Yeah.
nice turnout.
Yeah, no, it was great being able to see everyone together and kind of talk story, and really connect people to the information and the resources.
Well, hopefully when we have our next in-person meeting, we can get a great turnout like that too.
Food trucks help. That was a nice part of it.
Oh, okay. We'll have to tell Jordan that when he gets back.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
What's
And
the name of
all local Puna folks too. So
Yeah, we'll get the Pancho Taco truck there.
mhm.
Oh, one other comment I see from Maurice. More importantly, and good point. More importantly, eliminate methane emissions because that definitely is a direct greenhouse gas. So, and Maurice is asking if in-person meetings will be broadcast live on the internet still. And that's something we'll work with Dana. We'll make sure that we inform everyone way ahead of time about if we can be able to do that. So we'll take a note on that. Yeah, Dana. Zach, you got any questions?
No questions for me.
Okay. Thank you,
Well,
guys.
we don't have any more pending questions. So I'm going to move on to the next screen and give you the information for the next meeting, and we can do our, so the next quarterly meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, July 13th. And we are, as Mike said, we are hoping it's going to be in person, but we will post that information in advance of the meeting.
Yep.
Mike, do you have any final words to say?
Just to thank everyone again. Thank you, Dana, for hosting and facilitating. And thanks to Kevin at Hawaiian Electric and Douglas at the County of Hawaii. I really appreciate your time. You guys take out your time to help us and provide this information to our participants. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care. Happy Easter.